control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. Ground control to Major Tom. Commencing countdown, engines on. Check ignition and may God's love be with you. This is ground control to Major Tom. You've really made the grade. And the papers want to know whose shirts you wear. Now it's time to leave the capsule if you dare. This is Major Tom to ground control. I'm stepping through the door. And I'm floating in a most peculiar way. And the stars look very different today. For here am I sitting in a tin can, far above the world. Planet Earth is blue and there's nothing I can do. Spaceship knows which way to go. Tell my wife I love her very much, she knows. Ground control to Major Tom, your circuit's dead, there's something wrong. Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear? Am I floating around my tin can? Far above the moon. Planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do.
Well, howdy. I bet you not very many people did not recognize that David Bowie right there. Well, that was a weird screen that just popped up. Here we go. Cool. So do us a favor. We have a special guest today. We'll introduce you to. You will love this guy. I know it because I've talked to you before about him. Anyways, that was David Bowie. I guess that's called Space Oddity, but I always called it Major Tom growing up. Haven't seen David Bowie looking like that. That was from 1969. And please, while you're here, like, follow, and share. The algorithms, we have to get around those. So the more you can help us, the better it'll be. Let me get into my guest right away. This guy is awesome. You may recognize him. In fact, I'll give you a hint right now. Whoa, who's going to be coming on here? Well, that looks like that's Verity Metals. Is that Verity Metals? Is that phone number 480-717-9081? Could we be talking about Matt Geiger?
Yo.
I think we
Dude.
are. What is up, my brother?
Not too much, man. Getting chilly here in Phoenix. I got the overcoat on, and yeah, man. Looking forward to Tuesday.
Chilly in Phoenix. Now that sounds like a David Bowie song right there.
Chili in Phoenix. Yeah. The
Have
big one
you
out here
seen?
is actually Alice Cooper. I wonder about, what do you think about Alice Cooper? Do you think he's one of the bad guys, the baddies?
It's crazy, right? Because he did a lot of satanic looking stuff back in the day. But if you listen to his messages as of late, they don't sound like that. They sound like he's anti-establishment,
Yes.
anti-deep state, right?
I hope
So
so.
so I think he could have been playing the game for a while, right? And then now he's on the good side, and I believe they all have to pick a side. What do you think?
100%. Did you see Trump's Elvis drop? The
No,
photo,
tell me about it.
he posted on his on Twitter. He posted a photo of him. It's photoshopped, of course, but it's a young Elvis with his guitar, and then Trump, in the present day, is just standing there with kind of his arm around him.
Oh, I saw it. I did not know
Yeah,
that
yeah,
he posted it though.
yeah. Trump posted it. Yeah,
Oh, I love
real
it.
Trump, real Donald Trump. Yeah, it was funny as hell.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, I know. So I know there's a lot of game playing going along right now. Some good, some bad. We're in the middle of psyop central. That's what it is right now. And frankly, I still think, unfortunately, between now and January 20th, maybe even before January 6th, something's going to pop off because the deep state's pretty quiet right now, and that to me that tells me that they're planning something.
100%. I mean, these pardons from Biden. My prediction, and I think you would possibly agree. I mean, you tell me, but I don't think Trump's going to make it in on the 20th. I think they're going to push it back.
Yeah, I believe that's the goal. I really believe that they're going to try to delay that as much as they can. Um, but then, ironically, what if it ended up being March 5th? I believe that was the original inauguration date before everything jacked up after the 18th president.
I'll tell you this: I heard from a good source, a friend of mine. She was hanging out with some of Trump's kind of inner circle, and they were saying that they're going to implement the CBDC.
Really
It will happen. That's what I'm being told. I mean, maybe they're lying,
interesting.
but if they do that, I mean, think about the shockwaves that would cause and the confusion.
Yeah. For people
Um,
don't know, he's talking about central bank digital currency.
Digital
Wow.
prison. Yeah, the
Digital
CBDC,
prison.
what it is for
Yeah.
those that don't know, it's a bank account directly with the Federal Reserve, right? So if you're
Right.
banking directly with the feds, right, or the
Mhm.
Fed, you got to ask yourself one question, which is, what happened to all the banks, right?
Right. Yeah.
What happened to them? They all
Yeah.
went under.
Exactly. And if all the banks went under and it's under federal control, that means a podcaster like me, they will definitely take my money immediately.
Hmm. Yep.
Yes. So we have to be smart. Absolutely. We have to be smart. Well, I mean, by the way, when Matt's on here, it's what I love about Matt is he talks 10% about his business and 90% about all the other cool stuff that's going on in the world. But since we're there, is there any better place than holding metal assets, minerals like that, to protect yourself from, say, a central banking digital currency?
I look at the cryptocurrency space, which I have some exposure in.
Mhm.
Thankfully, a friend of mine probably a year ago said to me, he's like, Matt, buy some Bitcoin. So I bought some Bitcoin, buy some ADA, right? ADA, bought some ADA. I wish I bought more of it. It's
Yeah.
been absolutely on a tear. I mean, when I saw Mel down on the Unity tour, he's like, you got to get some XRP, and I own like a little bit, but I upped my numbers. It's like quadrupled. It's phenomenal. But I'm
In
not gonna
30
lie,
day in 30 days, it's 5.2 times increase. I've been
it's
tracking it.
it's insane, and it's what it is it's derived from the confidence. Trump said, I'm the crypto president, right? He even came out with
Mhm.
the shoes. If you look on his gettrumpsneakers.com, it's I'm the crypto president on the shoes. It's kind of funny. But I think what he's doing is he's kind of hijacked the crypto market from the deep state, and it's going to crash for some very obvious reason that they're going to pull, whatever that reason is. So I think the real hidden gem here is going to be something like silver, right? Even
Mhm.
gold, right? I think
Mhm.
these are going to be I think silver, right? If we know that the CBDC is coming, how would they take out the banks? Well, if you destroy the short position in silver, you pretty much wipe out the banking system. So maybe we see silver. Maybe silver goes up to $500 or $1,000 an ounce. Would I sell
Mhm.
it at that level? No, I would hold on to it.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
imagine
Mhm.
that. Imagine seeing that's money you would take with you to, right? As we always talk about, bridge the gap, bridge this period of time,
Right.
get to the far side of this, right? That's what we always preach. But it'd be incredible. I mean, maybe we start seeing silver just go on a tear. And there's only so much silver to go around. It's not that easy to access. So you got to keep that in mind. It's like, that's why I tell people.
I'm not an expert, and I'm certainly not a financial advisor, but I've been tracking silver for a long time. I mean, 40 years, and it is undervalued for how much they have in store and what it's used for. I think they've been suppressing silver for at least 4 decades. I don't know. What do you say? You're the expert.
Well, the Hunt brothers tried to do it in the 1980s, and the Hunt brothers did it with somewhere around, I think there was about 110 million ounces, million. Today, JP Morgan's doing it with 2 billion ounces, 2 billion. So they make the Hunt brothers, JP Morgan, they make the Hunt brothers look like a bunch of little leaguers. And why is everybody trying to corner silver? What do they see in silver? I mean, if you listen to Cliff High, one of the most interesting takes on silver I think I've ever heard, is something way above my pay grade. But Cliff High talked about when you take silver isotope 107 and you combine it with silver isotope 109, you get these like unexplained magnetic properties. And maybe that explains, anti-gravitational craft. Maybe silver is the whole key to. So Cliff High, I'm sure a lot of your audience knows who he is. But I mean, he's a brilliant mind that, I mean, I could listen to Cliff High for almost as long as I could listen to you, Lewis.
Oh, bless my heart. That's fascinating. I've never even conceived what the properties were. I've studied ley lines, and some of them filled with gold and so on and so forth. But that is very cool. And nothing now seems too strange for me.
Well, they found those. Was I talking about it with you? They found those, I think, what was it? Lithium mines up in like South Dakota. And I think the value on these things is somewhere in the trillions of dollars.
Yeah. Well, I believe that's part of what's going on in North Carolina and eastern Tennessee with the Hurricane Helene.
Probably.
Because they have just some of the largest stores of lithium in Western North Carolina that you can believe, and something called mica. And mica is a piece of like quartz. And when I was down there doing the investigation, I went down there a couple of times, and in the documentary, interesting enough, the mica floated to the top. I have some because it's so light, and with all the flooding, it literally floated to the top. What better way to start excavating if you have a flood that does your work for you? I was picking it off the ground. It's translucent, believe it or not.
It's beautiful. And I know mica. I'm familiar.
Okay, and then it's this form of mica is supposed to be the best they could use for silicone chips and so on and so forth. So, fascinating. It's crazy deep state BS, but I do believe we're getting through this. And yes, I agree with you. I would not be shocked if the inauguration was delayed.
I mean, I just don't see how they can let Trump in, because without a fight,
they're done. They're
done.
Yeah.
They're done.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be interesting to see how they do it. I mean, does that involve? It's probably going to have to involve some type of banking crisis, some type of something. I mean, how else do you distract people? I mean, it could be war.
Well, the easiest way they have is the WPA, the War Powers Act.
Right.
That's the easiest legitimate way, which is not legitimate, by the way, but based on the revisions of our Constitution, it's the easiest way that they can do it is just sign the WPA, which it's called consistency of government, not continuity. That's completely different. It's consistency of government. So what happens is if Biden's the wartime president, or even Kamala, whoever they play the game with, they just carry over until they declare that the war is over. So that's the easiest way to do it. And they've clearly been trying, because look at, as soon as missiles go into Russia now on mainstream media, they say those are US made missiles. Well, why what's the need for saying that? This the same thing. The ones that were shot from Poland, those are USA made missiles, right? So, and those just happen to be countries involved in NATO. Come on, it's not an accident that this is happening.
Yeah, 100%.
It's crazy. So, what have you been up to in cold Arizona?
I've been doing some range shooting. One of your viewers, who's actually become a really great friend, he's been helping me set up some of my stuff. I'll send you some photos. Really did a great job. We're getting into some long range shooting. So I think I'm going to be trying to shoot at like 2 miles is very difficult, but I'm going to try to work up to it. He's kind of teaching me the ropes, how to use scopes. It's, having the weapon is one thing. It's really about, knowing your actual scope and how to adjust that and adjust for wind, different stuff. So we're working on that, but it's like, it's been amazing because it's like your viewers, you know, anybody that's come through the door, it's like, we're the most like-minded, same people. And it's funny because even in his neighborhood, he lives right over here, right by me. He was saying, it's like, there's no one out there that understands. So when we actually met at the Unity tour, we met in Arizona. Andy, he was actually on the show on, what was it? The night you were at Mar-a-Lago when we had that, what night was that? You were at Mar-a-Lago. Remember you were reporting?
Oh, you mean on
election night. Duh.
election night.
Night. Yeah.
Palm Beach. Yes.
Yeah. So Andy was on the show. He's a fantastic guy, but he's like, there's nobody out here that understands. I'm like, let me introduce you to some people. So we linked him up with, you know, Stapley and Mickey. So he's, you know, he's feeling right at home, and we got a good little crew out here, but that's what we've been doing. Just having fun. You know, been busy as can be. You know, I think people are, you know, especially your audience, they understand something big's coming. You know, we're getting IRAs done. We're getting people coming in, doing cash purchases. It's like, this is go time, man. It's like, you got to see the forest through the trees. You don't want to be buying your silver and your gold. You know, once the stuff goes down, it's going to be very hard to get.
Yeah.
You want to start doing it now, you know, be preemptive, get ahead of the curve. And it's like, okay, if you got to wait 6 months for some real action, so be it. You know, and if you think you missed out on the cryptocurrencies, go buy some silver.
Yeah, exactly. Because the reality is the goal here, everybody should know, is that we don't have a Federal Reserve anymore.
Right.
That's the ultimate goal. Is we deal directly to the Treasury, and the Treasury values things on silver and gold. You know, we'll see. I believe 4 years from now, we're going to look at a completely different world than we've seen before, in the positive. You know, but when you start tearing things down, which we're going to have to do, there's going to be some disruption. And I'm not even talking deep state disruption. I'm just, you know, you have to transition jobs. If we truly are going to eliminate 80% of the government, I believe it should be 90, but let's just say 80. If we eliminate 80% of the government, that bureaucracy, those people have to be trained and replaced to other positions. So there's going to be a lot of changes, but you know what that brings? That brings massive opportunities if people are paying attention.
100%. I mean, I totally agree. I think the future is absolutely bright in this country. I think, you know, just to what we were talking about before about, you know, the mica you're seeing in North Carolina, or the lithium deposits. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg of the resources this country has under its feet.
Mm-hmm.
And what's funny is Trump understands that. And what these people have done, these politicians, is that, you know, they've created national parks so that no one can get the mining rights. Like the Grand Canyon, we've said it before. Grand Canyon is probably chock full of gold. So it's like, we have every single resource available to us. That's why I call America God's country. It truly is.
Yep.
We literally have everything under our feet. So when we use that and tap into that, I mean, the sky's the limit. I think we'll be on Mars within 5 years from now.
Yeah, if there is a Mars.
Right. Whole other conversation.
Right. Because I think that could be military. Well, guys say it all the time. Radio systems, military auxiliary radio systems is what we would be talking about. One of the reasons is because Elon actually texted. He says the best way to massively change the consciousness of people is through Mars. And I'm like, wait. You're going to massively change their consciousness by dropping a probe on Mars? No. But what you could do is if you have military auxiliary radio system and nobody can shut down your message and put out a message that changes the consciousness, that's what I could see happening. So we'll see, right?
We will. I'm pumped. I'm ready. You know, I'm just trying to enjoy life. I'm not one of these people that's stressing. You know, I go out, you know, like I said, we go shooting, we have fun. You know, I would suggest everybody do the same. It's nothing to panic about.
Yeah, I do think people need to actually add some fun and joy to their life. You know, I mean, at the same time, I hope everybody remembers this is not up to Trump. This is up to we the people. He's a conduit for us to get the work done. So we the people have to keep pushing forward. Great example in Maricopa County. It is horrible. Trump's not going to ride in there on his white Pegasus and fix everything. We the people need to hold him accountable. What's that?
I heard it's going to get bad here.
Oh,
a mutual friend of ours, who you know very well, had told me, just I think it might have been yesterday or the day before, that there's going to be some serious stuff here because this is, I mean, I came to Arizona to get out of California, and here I am walking into like Cartel Central.
Yeah, it is.
So they run, to my understanding, they run everything out here. They run everything.
That they do. But in fact, I reported that in my movie Cages that they do run everything out there. What people don't understand though is the cartel are run by the American cartel. We keep blaming it on everybody else. Well, now I can actually say they're also run by Chinese and possibly other countries, Middle Eastern type countries, and so on and so forth. But they're financed, believe it or not, by our Fortune 1000 companies. That's who finances them. That's who moves the money around for them. They've been caught doing it through real estate, and you wouldn't believe how much real estate the cartel owns in our country.
They've taken over. I mean, my whole theory on just the big picture is that it's almost like the mafia. You look at the mafia in, back in during the Kennedy days, they got Kennedy the election, right? Nixon really won in 1960,
That's right.
but they gave it to Kennedy, right? They rigged it in Chicago.
They thought
I
they
think the
could
mafia,
control Kennedy, which was backfired on them too.
right? Exactly. But I think the mafia got so powerful that they just were able to basically take the Vegas model, and just apply it to the federal government, and now they just control everything. So we're literally being run by the mafia, and we never even bat an eye.
Total
Right.
mafia. Yeah, and there's different sectors. Like Vegas now, but believe it or not, is now the Jewish mafia. It used to be the
Right.
Italian
Right.
mafia, but now it's the Jewish mob.
Right.
It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. But I believe you're right. The cartel just used the model of the mafia, and then they're more vicious though, which is
Yeah,
scary for people.
the-
Even the mafia would protect kids back in the day.
it's so sick. I mean, I hear some of these stories. I mean, I've yet to go to Mexico. I would love to visit Mexico here. It's an amazing place. But another mutual friend of ours, he was telling me that he was just driving down the road one day, gets stopped at a checkpoint, had to pay money, right? Give me your money. They
Yeah.
just took his money. Go ahead. Right.
Yep.
I mean, what's to say they don't turn around and execute you there right on the spot? Who the hell knows?
Yeah. What
So
if
I
you didn't
steer.
if you didn't have the money?
Yeah. What if you didn't have the money? What are you going to do then? To take you hostage? So I wouldn't touch Mexico with a 10-foot pole. See, I think what we need to do is we need to invade Mexico and take out the cartels. That's a war. That's a war worth fighting. That's actually a war I think worth actually fighting.
I'll just say this. I won't say more. I'll just say probable.
I think so. I think you have to. It's like we're probably moving, when this is all said and done, we're probably moving to a hemispheric isolation, right? So it's not that the United States is going to isolate by itself. We're going to use Canada's got a ton of resources. South America's got a ton of resources. We can all help each other. And it's like, you don't want illegal immigration? Okay, great. Let's go make Mexico great again.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go make Guatemala great again. Let's turn these countries around and turn them into bastions of freedom. I mean, look what that guy did in El Salvador. I mean, It's incredible. That guy did it in what, a couple weeks?
He's my hero, Bukele. Yeah,
Amazing.
absolutely.
Amazing.
And Trump's kind of given a hint on this, and he told Trudeau,
Yes.
"If you'd like to be, you could be the 51st state." And then
That's
he
funny.
told Israel, "It's time to make Israel great again." MIGA. I'm like, okay, he's throwing out some comms there, kind of letting us know what's going on. And interesting, he had an interview or a consultation with the president of Mexico, said all this stuff, and then she comes out and denies it. Oh no, that didn't happen.
Right.
That's not going to work out well for her.
No, it's not. And she's got like a Jewish last name, doesn't she?
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
a
Shine
very.
Now or something. It's
I've
kind of
I've heard about that election from people, and they're saying it ain't good. So
it ain't good. No.
we'll see what happens. Matt, anything else you want to cover before I ask you a question about Verity metals?
Yeah, I mean, just before you even ask that question, I think what Trump did, and then ask the question, maybe I'll set the stage with this, but I think what Trump did during his first 4 years was, it looks like, with the Jan Halper Hayes interview and some of that information that's been verified, it looks like he just took he bankrupted the corporation, right? He's already bankrupted the U.S. corporation. He's getting ready to hand it over, right? But at the same time, we're kind of living our lives in kind of just that same mentality, right? We don't know that the U.S. corporation's bankrupt and we're about to hand it over. So it's going to be very interesting to see when we hand that back over to them, what we have first off in place that is going to be launched, but also what that's going to look like and the problems that might cause for, whatever period of time. It's going to be a very interesting thing to see how that whole transition happens. But go ahead.
I was just going to ask you more about silver because Do you think, okay, tell me if I'm wrong. I've heard a lot that silver is not only used in microchips and software and electronics, but there's a whole application that they're finding that silver is a better conductor than what they're using. So there may even be a bigger run on silver in the near future. Do you know anything about that?
I mean, I can only say this, and this is my point I made about the Cliff High information about silver isotope 107, 109, is that these are electrical properties that even most physicists today, pretty much every physicist today, doesn't fully understand. So I think there's something inherently magic about silver. There's literally magic within it, right? That's basically what I can tell you. I wish I were Dr. Frank, right, with the knowledge of the physics, and right, I could tell you all these things. But it seems to me that there's been a lot of information about silver that's been withheld from us, and that is so complex and so out there that we're going to find out about it in the future. But yes, I think there's many more applications to silver than just, solar panels and computers and TVs, right? There's a lot more to silver than, I would say, get the silver out of those things and put it toward much more important usages and find a different conductor than silver for a TV.
Yeah, yes, yeah, absolutely. And I hear it from a frequency level. It rates very high on frequency too,
Yep.
which I'm now just learning because I'm studying frequency. So fascinating.
Fascinating.
Well, Matt, you're awesome. Again, veritymetals.com. Give them your phone number again and tell them how personable you are and what you do for them.
Thank you. And say Lewis sent you.
Oh yeah, that guy right there. Say that dude, that Lewis guy. What's the phone number I can contact you at?
You can. The number I leave is actually a cell phone, so people can text that. If you just want to say, "Hey, Matt, you around this afternoon?" or just call me directly. If I don't answer, I'm usually just on a call. But I get to everybody. It's 480-717-9081. Like I said, you can text to that. And even if you just want to call up and say hi, I love it. I love hearing from your viewers. It's my people.
Awesome. Yes, and he will talk to you about anything. So you want to know about George Magazine or anything in the Patriot community or what's going on. He's also very connected. I'm not supposed to say that. Nobody heard that. All right, guys. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Liz. Appreciate you.
Guys, so that's veritymetals.com, 480-717-9081. Goodbye for now.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. Am I the only one willing to bleed, take a bullet for being free, screaming what the hell at my TV for telling me, yeah, you're telling me that I'm the only one willing to fight for my love of the red and white and the blue, burning on the ground, another statue coming down in a town near you, watching the threads of old glory come undone. Am I the only one?
One day, one day, one day, oh, one day, I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come
'cause there ain't no doubt I loved it